You are listening to the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Palace of Mega Pencils. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo!
Hello and welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host, Stephen White. With me, as always, is my co-host, Lacey Finley.
Oh, well, happy Monday.
We're in October. It's nice and warm and toasty and, you know.
Oh, are you warm and toasty?
No, not really. It's cold.
Oh.
It's very cold.
I was going to say, we hit fall. I don't know if it's our first fall or second fall, you know.
Yeah.
But, we hit it.
Yesterday, I did not want to get out of bed because as soon as the air hit my bed or my body, I was just like, nope, staying here. This is where it's warm. Mm-hmm. And I had to force myself out of bed, jump into my big robe, and get warm again.
You don't just keep it on the floor right next to the bed so you can just...
I really should. I mean, it's hanging away from me.
Nope.
And it's too far, unless I had stretchy arm powers, and I don't have that.
No. I always have like a sweatshirt, and then I literally just put it right on the floor, right next to the bed. Then when I wake up, I can pick it up, I put it right back on, and then I'm getting out of bed.
Yeah, that does sound like a smart move.
Cold for even a second.
See, I've actually got a window like right next to my side of the bed, so it kind of makes it difficult to have stuff hanging there, because that would be very convenient, just having it right there, and I could just kind of reach up and in and just slip it on and then get out. But there's not really a convenient spot. But like you said, the floor. I guess I could do the floor.
You're sleeping. Who cares that it's on the floor while you sleep? And then you'll pick it up when you're awake and do whatever you need to after that.
This is true. This is true.
Yep, that's my mess in motion.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, there's a mess there, but I'm going to keep using it and moving it around. So it's like, I think there's an official term for it, but I can't think of it right now.
I don't know, but Katrina's a master of it. Let me tell you that.
It's like I don't bother putting certain things away because I'm going to constantly be getting it out anyway and moving around the house. So it's just, that's the one thing I accept, that it might be on the floor right now, but it'll move in like 10 minutes because I'll be using it.
So I got a few things I want to touch on real quick. First things first, I wanted to give us an update on Super Mega Crash Adventures episode 5 because I'm still working on it. I want people to know this is going to happen. My plan is that you will have it in your eye holes before the end of the year. That's all I can promise.
Right.
And I know that gives me 3 months.
But still, I mean, you got a lot going on.
I hate to say that, and I hate to think it, but let me give you an example. I looked at what I had left, okay? Mm-hmm. And there was I have kind of filler frames, if you will. So like one set piece, which is what I consider the backgrounds. Mm-hmm. But one set piece, I had it from point A to point B, from where I was animating dialogue all the way to the end, to the last bit of dialogue. Mm-hmm. And it said 2 minutes. Is all I had left. And I was like, great.
All right.
Let me see where I get. Started animating. We'll say about 5 hours later, had about 30 seconds finished.
Oh, man.
And I was like, okay. But it's for I keep telling myself, for every little detail that I put in, for every little nugget that I have to work on, it will benefit, because I think I'd said this to somebody else. No one will ever notice the details you put in, but they'll notice every detail you don't.
Sure.
So,
and you got to be happy with it too. So if you're looking at it, it makes you happy that extra work came together that you noticed, then that's worth it.
Yeah, that's what I have to, that's where I put it in my head, is every time I go through this and I keep feeling like I'm falling farther and farther behind, I keep telling myself that it'll be better once it's finished. Trust me.
Right.
For example, here's another thing that really crushed me, and I've not really had to do this like this.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've, say for episode 2, this would be a great example. We had that kind of running gag that the original cut just wasn't working, and then we kind of molded it over and trying to figure out a different way to go about it, and then what we eventually wound up with was what was funny.
Right.
And I honestly feel like the bit with you right in the middle, that second joke, was the funniest shit ever. So I'm so glad that came out the way it did.
Yeah,
I'm so glad we kept working at it. Here, I've kept working with the confines of the dialogue that we had recorded, and as it's being presented, I'm having to edit as I go, because I'll hear it and I'll see the way the scene is set up, and I'm like, that line doesn't work. And I'm just like, Chuck. Yeah. And if I can work out a different line or adjust it in some way, that's what I wanted to do. But this past week, I had a situation where a chunk of dialogue had to go because the way the scene played out, everything was working up to that point. But when I got to it and I saw it, there was just this moment where, I'm trying to figure out how to say this without giving everything away. There was a scene in which everyone, like I had said something and everyone around us was going to react to it. And your character was supposed to have more dialogue with my character about that. However, it seemed more relevant for your character to exit stage left and just, that's that.
It makes sit, right?
It makes it funnier because your character was going to do that anyway. But it felt unnatural for you to still be standing there. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So I was like, you still had these couple of lines, and I was like, man, but I don't want to lose these lines because they were good lines, and there was this good banter back and forth, and I was like, shit. But it works so much better.
Yeah.
The moment you walk away, it's like you're done.
I'm done.
Yeah. You're like, that's it. I'm out. Like you didn't even say anything. You're just like, nope, I'm out. I'm gone. And it works so much better. And I was like, shit. So I've got to figure out a way to pad some stuff or maybe even, because I was trying to see if I could readjust some of the dialogue, like still make that happen, but maybe figure out another way to, I don't know. And I even thought, well, maybe she'll come back. And I was like, that wouldn't make any sense. She's already gone.
Yeah.
So
I'm out, bitches.
Yeah, so I'm having to figure that out. And then now I'm actually in the process of working up a fight sequence because this is where our action kicks in for the episode. And I've got some ideas, and I'm even consulting with Katrina because there's a theme that I've been trying to tap into. Okay. And she would know it better than I would. So I'm trying to see if she can give me some examples, like some really good examples that I can kind of
jokes maybe.
Yeah. Kind of look at it and be like, okay, I think I got an idea here. So she gave me a few good ones, and I'm going to see how they turn out in the end. Nice. So fingers crossed we'll have it done very, very soon. Maybe at the end of this month, but I'm just going to continue to say end of the year.
Yeah.
I'll feel better about that.
Fantastic. If not, no lies detected. Right?
Yeah. I want to feel good that every little detail is covered and taken care of. And I have actually gone back a time or two and just kind of made minor little adjustments to little things that just, I don't know, seemed off. And it may seem ridiculous to other people, but...
Well, they don't even have to know. Who cares?
Yeah, you won't even know.
Enjoy the end result and blissfully unaware of all of the painstaking effort you went in to make it look gorgeous.
I mean, if anyone's going to compliment me on it, other than you, it would be Dava, because he notices.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
good eye that
I'll just say that.
Yeah.
And see, I'm giving him a compliment, shouting him out. He's like a legend at this point in this podcast. People are like,
drug him along, whether he wanted to or not.
Yeah, who is this mysterious person? Come over to the Discord and find out.
Come on over to the Discord.
What else? Oh yeah. Apparently I'm on suicide watch again. thanks to
Yeah.
YouTube, because
that I haven't been paying better attention to you.
So for context, people, I did this movie or short, not a movie. This short,
It's still a movie, but it's a short film. You know,
it's a little 10-minute short I did back in 2004 because I was trying to be edgy and cool and just look how dark I could be. I was a very pretentious indie filmmaker. Thought I was.
Sure.
Kept watching like Jim Jarmusch films, Coffee and Cigarettes, saying I could do that. I could do that. That's art, baby. Not a bad film. I'm just saying it's got its laws.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking.
To give you context, basically.
Yeah. So I was trying to do this thing in black and white. I was trying to do just real edgy, see how dark and just how far I could push it. And I just wrote up this little script that I could film on my own in a day. And I did. And I look back on it and it's a hard watch because I'm like, cringy stuff. And that's me.
Well,
being cringy.
Early works, when we're still learning, especially can kind of hurt to look back on. But it shows growth.
Yeah. And I mean, that was actually at least I'll give it credit for this. This was the very first short that I did where my buddy Patrick, who also does films, he actually took note. He said, you've got editing skills. Like I can see, you've got good pacing and everything.
And this
like
is when
that.
you had to use film still, right? Were you still using
I was
film,
using like DV, like the mini DV cameras, and then digitally uploading it to the computer. And I didn't even have a good editing software. I think I was using like Windows Movie Maker. And
probably.
Oh my God.
Like what came with the PC.
Yeah. It was, comparatively, it's a piss poor editing software. Like for some reason you couldn't even edit to the frame. It's like you had every 6 frames or some stupid shit. Yeah, it was really dumb. I don't know why that was the way it was. But anyway, I'd uploaded it to YouTube back in 2008. Never heard a thing about it. I've actually had, I'm going to go really old here. I uploaded it to MySpace one time and got somebody, that's not how it is, like telling me how to commit suicide or how unnatural everything was. And I was like, whoa. I was like, this is a work of fiction. I'm not trying to say that this is, yours. I'm sorry if your story is different. I don't know anything about it.
We didn't know to put like warnings, labels, trigger warnings, all this kind of stuff, Yeah. Like,
which,
stuff out there,
I should have. I didn't think about it.
Well,
I didn't know.
I mean, we're all learning here in this day and age of everybody being connected around the world,
Yeah.
Like, it's still very new to us as humans.
Yeah. So I got flack for it. And, I even had other people say, don't worry about it. It's who cares? Mm-hmm. And it's not that we don't care about them. It's just like, it's my situation. Anybody's situation is different. Yeah. Everybody's situation is different. I don't know their story. They don't know my story. Again, and I've had to argue this, even to my own mother. This is not fact. I have never once in my life, thank God, had a moment where I was like, I'm going to kill myself. I never have. I've hit lows, but I guess I'm too egotistical and selfish to be like, I'm going to kill myself. I'm just like, no, I want to live because I've got things I want to do or things I want to see. Always at the end of the day, I keep thinking of other things I'd rather do than die.
Right. The survival instinct still kicks in. So
it's just like, there's a new Marvel movie coming out. Do I want to die? No, I want to see that. So,
but again, like,
weird.
That's how it just manifests differently in each people. And some people get fixated to the point they can't let it go. And some of us, it's just that dumb thing we say when life is rough.
Yeah.
That we just offhandedly say without even thinking about the consequences of the weight of the words, So.
Right. So, again, I did it because, and I've even stated this, if you go on YouTube right now, it's still up. And I'm surprised because I figured they could point at that and be like,
age-gated, so there's that.
Well,
Yes, it makes sense.
Well,
that's
yeah, because back in 2019, when Pencil Paper Productions hit its 15th year, I did kind of these remasters as best as I could. Still look like shit, but I tried.
Right.
Anyway, The original's still up, but now they put an age gate up on it. Don't know why this came out of the blue. I'm talking, it was just like out of the blue, getting emails from YouTube being like, hey, are you okay? We got, we're doing a wellness check, making sure you're all right. If you need to talk to somebody, sending me all these resources, suicide. And I'm like, whoa.
Which they don't
Fair
know,
enough.
I guess.
Fair enough.
But
Fair enough.
Human review.
Yeah. Furthermore, there is a commentary that I did for every one of these HD remasters where I'm watching it and I'm talking about the scenes as they're going along, how I felt, and I glibly say, it's just fiction. None of this. I don't know anything about it. I don't know the process. I don't know the mentality.
Experience.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's to put everyone's mind at ease. If you think it's dark, yeah, okay, cool. But that's just where...
That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah. So, but for me personally, no, that was not me. That is not me. Will never be me, at least to my knowledge.
Right. At
But-
this moment in time, it was just an edgy thing I did.
Yeah,
almost
and
20
that's
years ago now.
exactly. So, got age gated. I got checked up on. But here's the thing that pissed me off the most. When I posted the HD remake, it got flagged, taken down, removed, and I got a strike on my channel. This is the very same thing. And it's just like, well, we're going to age gate it. Okay, but you removed it last time and gave me a strike. But now you're just age gating it. So help me understand, YouTube, the hypocrisy here, because we are flagging. Yeah, we're flagging the same video 2 different ways. All that was different was one was higher quality, if you can call it that.
Was the title different at all?
No,
or?
well, Suicide Story Remastered. That's it.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel like there's a lot of human review unless you're some really big content creator on there. I've heard a lot of YouTubers talking about this lately, actually.
Yeah. It was funny because that very day I'd heard another story about some guy who was just like the inconsistencies or whatever. I think it was on Philip DeFranco. It was the very day that I got that. I heard that very story about the inconsistencies of all this.
Yeah, I can't remember the gentleman's name now that put a video out, but it caught enough traction that I saw like Jacksepticeye put out a video and then Markiplier put out a video because, unfortunately Markiplier gets drug into everything being one of their largest creators. So everyone always uses him as a baseline. Well, he didn't get struck or age gated or something for the exact same thing. Ergo, just probably part of the job being the largest creator on YouTube, because I could hear them all going, sorry, Mark, for dragging you into it, but it's like, I guess if you're creating content in that same vein, who would you use to compare it against, But yeah, it seems very inconsistent lately. And then it would go back and forth with, okay, it's age restricted. Okay, no, it's not. Okay, but yes, it is again. And it's like, I don't think there's human review.
I mean, I don't mind it being age restricted. I mean, that's
Which
absolutely
kind of makes sense for the content, sure.
Right, and it's absolutely fine. I've got no problem with that. What I have a problem with is I have this strike on my channel for the exact same video. That's what makes me mad. If it had happened the opposite way, it would still make me angry because you 2 completely different reactions to the same video.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
I think they have AI usage probably to skim for certain words or things like that, and then no real human will review it unless you're big enough to buck against it and force them to go, what? And then actually watch it and go, okay, this is fine.
Right. And the worst part... Yeah. The worst part about it is...
are the ones who are going to get effed on this situation.
The worst part about it is... I don't know if I've mentioned this here. I may have. But I had that episode or that remaster that I made is technically lost to me because it was on another external hard drive that is possibly damaged that I need to go get repaired.
Oh, yeah.
And since they removed it, I couldn't retrieve it.
Oh, no.
So
they didn't even leave it just for you, just unlist it?
No.
Oh, wow.
I can't even download it. So it's ridiculous. Wow. Which that's what I was at least hoping I could do, is at least retrieve it back.
Right.
And then be able to do something with it, or at least just have that copy. But no, I can't even do that. So it was just like, So it sucks. Yeah. But again, I don't feel like it's a huge loss on my part. It's just, but I did, just for the sake of clarity, also on that same external hard drive were some of my other HD remakes and originals and whatnot. So they're kind of lost to me too. So when this popped up, my first instinct was to go re-download that video before they flag it. Otherwise, it'll be lost to me forever, and I'm not having that. Not having that.
Nope.
So
gotta get some backups of the backups.
Yeah, and I hate that that's where we're at, but I don't trust YouTube at this point. So,
I mean, I don't know how you would improve it with more human oversight for the sheer volume of creators that are putting stuff up every single minute of every single day. But there has to be they gotta figure something out, because some of it's just a little too much, and I keep waiting for that for the animation too or something.
Because it wouldn't surprise me.
Like, we use adult language, we'll even say it's not for kids, but somehow I have this feeling that they'll flag something for it. But I don't know, we'll wait. We'll wait it out and see. Nothing's happened yet for the ones that are up, so to my knowledge, I feel you would have told me.
Nothing has, but there's nothing offensive in them that I am aware of.
It's just because it's a cartoon that uses adult language. And for some reason, cartoons are just for the kids.
I put specifically on there, not for kids.
Yep.
So I've said my piece to it.
Yes.
Not for kids, not for children's of their age.
Watch your own children. What are they watching? Not my job.
No one pays attention to their kids.
My job to pay attention to your kids and stop doing what I'm doing that your kid, you know how it is. You got to shut down all the adult stuff because for the kids.
For the kids' sake, won't somebody please think of the children? No. All right, so I'm going to tell you the story, and I want your opinion because I wanted to see if you think that my frustration in this was justified.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
This could go either way.
Yeah. Because I mean, genuinely want to know, because when I feel like maybe I went and got angry for the wrong reasons, but somewhere in my brain, I couldn't wrap my head around it. So I left work, coming home, and I normally stop for gas in town where I work, and I didn't think about it. I just got in my vehicle, left work, and then looked down and was like, oh shit, I'm almost on E. So I guess, I do have a gas station right near home, but prices can be
expensive.
Yeah, it's one of those local mom and pop shops, so gas prices, sometimes they can be good, sometimes they can be a little high, and I'd rather not
especially if they're by themselves.
Yeah. I mean, there's really not another gas station for miles.
Yeah.
If you've got that one. Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, I'll go maybe get, $10 or whatever, just get me by until tomorrow, and then I'll fill it up when I get back to town, whatever. So I pull in, kind of a full house. There's one spot open right there at the end. I turn around, get in there, and I see a little sign up on it, and it says prepay only, and I'm like, okay. Pull out my card, stick it in, boop, 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 and it says go see cashier, and I'm like, no, I'm not going inside. The whole purpose of me doing this here is so I don't have to go inside. I'm paying and I'm going.
Right.
I just said, fuck it, I'll try another card. Boop, 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 boop. Go see cashier. And I'm like, son of a bitch, what is going on?
Yeah.
So I was about ready to just say the hell with it, but I was like, I need the gas. So I walk inside and walk up to the cashier and I said, hey, I'm trying to get gas on pump 6 and it's telling me to come see you. It's like, yeah, it's prepay. I was like, yeah, that's what I was trying to do. No. Prepay, that means in here. I said, but I have a card. Right. Why do I have to prepay in here when it's going to charge me? Well, we had some.
Turn off the pump.
It says, well, we had somebody steal from us the other day, so now we got to have them come inside. And I was like, okay, so why do I have to come inside to prepay when my card, the moment I put it in and hit in my information, it's going to pay for whatever gas I take? Mm-hmm. Do you see the so why I'm confused. Do you understand? You see the problem?
I don't understand that either. I mean, I don't know if I'd necessarily blame dude behind the counter unless he's owner. I don't know. They could be in places like that. But
he was a kid. And
I thought the whole point of having the credit card machine was that it would just ping it right then and there, see if you have the funds, hold whatever until it makes that quick transaction back and forth. And then most of the pumps here, if I put in 10, it turns me off at 10. Exactly. Like, it'll automatically start to slow down the pumping, and then at 10, it clicks off.
Yeah. I mean, that's
what I just assumed was the technology now.
That's kind of what I thought, too. That's where I was so confused. I was like, so how...
I wonder how they were able to steal it.
That's the other part of it I don't understand.
That's like, what I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, how did they steal it? They had a credit card.
Exactly. How do you steal gas in this day and age? You have to, every pump that I go to, there is not
like... I remember the last time I've been able to pump before I paid. I literally can't remember. I might have been at, has it even been in the last 15, 20 years? I don't remember. I know I have before.
Yeah, but it just seems...
old enough to remember where I could pump and then go inside and pay, but I don't remember the last time that even was.
No, it's been... forever, because
I want to say Hurricane Katrina. I feel like that's when paying at the pump became mandatory because gas was the first time we saw it skyrocket so high that people legit were paying and running. So I want to say maybe it's been since then that I can remember the last time you were able to pay a pump first.
And that may very well be, but I just
know about around the world, but
it just feels like it's been forever. Like we have been
a long time
paying at the pump. Or paying, like you had to prepay before you got any gas whatsoever. Like you just could not go up, pick it up, and go. And that was what was
interesting,
hurting my brain, because I was like, how? And I wanted them to explain that to me, but I didn't have time for it because I was aggravated at the stupidity.
I just wanted to get out of here.
that I heard, because you prepay. When I stick my card in that pump, that's what I feel like I'm doing. You know what I mean?
If I have funds, and then it'll say yes or no, and then proceed, and it'll just charge the card however long you keep the pump going, I would assume.
Right. So if there's another way that this works, if there's some scam,
Dave, are you a gas station expert?
I want to understand this from their perspective.
Right. No, that's good because
what did I miss here?
There has to be a reason to bring you in.
Yeah. What did I miss? How did this person steal gas from? And again, I've been to this gas station several times at this spot. Every time I've had to prepay. It says prepay inside, prepay here with debit, or prepay with credit. Those are your three options. I always went
inside if I was using cash. Like, here's my $10 bill. Put that on pump 6, and then they'll cut you off at $10.
That again, yeah. That's the part of it, because even when I did that, he was like, "How much?" I was like, 10. I go out, they said 10. As soon as it got to 10, it was off.
Stops. Yeah.
So
how?
How?
This is clearly above both of our intelligence levels, and possibly the dude that was running it that evening, because he's probably going, I don't know either, man. Some dude stole it. Now this is what I have to do and get yelled at every evening. I don't know, man.
I was just so, because I was just not in the mindset to deal with people. I just wanted to, I've even had these days, and sometimes I wish I didn't, because it makes me feel like my brain is just not working that well. Sometimes you're driving home and you're just like, man, I feel like a beer, or I feel like, getting a drink, and there's plenty of places to stop on the way home. But I don't want to stop. I don't want to deal with people. And I'm just kind of like, what's it worth to me? Do I really want that drink, or do I want to deal with people enough to do, or what? And sometimes I'll just be like, screw it. And I'll just go home because I don't want to deal with people.
That usually wins for me when I'm battling it through my head. I'm like, that's a whole other issue.
Yeah, most of the time I'll probably be like, all right. And it just depends on where I want to go, because at that point I look at the options and I'm just like, well, where's the least amount of people that I have to deal with? And then that's where I'll go, so I can just kind of in and out, and not have to deal with anybody. And it's just certain days. And that was one of those days.
Have a conversation with you.
Yeah, it was just one of those days. I was just like, I just get my gas and go home. I don't want to really stop in the first place, and I'm having to.
And then all that probably made it feel more frustrating because you didn't really want to in the first place, and so
It did.
and then whoever stole it is now ruining it for everyone because now this is why I hate being graded as a group, as a society. I know how else do you do it, but I'm just like every time someone else screws up something very simple, then the rest of us have to follow these dumb set of rules. It makes my life harder because of that idiot.
Well, as I said, I don't understand.
I don't understand either, if I'm honest with you. I don't even know why that would be a thing. What's the difference between putting your card in at the pump as opposed to dude watching you put in card?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
So
I would also be frustrated. So, yes, I don't know how to help you on this one. This
Okay.
makes sense.
So if somebody can explain that to me so I can understand my anger and maybe put it into perspective to where it would be like, okay, I'm sorry. Or, okay, it does make sense now. Because I think I was just frustrated with the idiocy of it all, the way my brain saw it.
Like this day and age, I can't understand it. If it was before we had the technology, duh. Come in, pay for it. But now that it's at the pump, I don't understand what that was about.
It reminds me of a joke, and I'm really going to take it back because I'm sure some of our main core audience would know who this is, but some of our younger listeners may be like, who?
I think they're all about our age, or at least
Maybe.
I feel when we're chatting.
You never know.
A couple years younger, whatever. Anyway. Or you might have been raised right and heard about this anyway. So let's see. I don't know what he's going to say.
Comedian Sinbad was talking about having to go to McDonald's one time, and he was just so worried about the youth of today because he's like, this kid was just like, he couldn't even understand a register. And he's just sitting there trying to get me my change, and he's just hitting the button. He's like, boop, and he just makes his face. He hits it again, boop. He's just frustrated. And then finally he just looks at me and says, yo, man, just reach in there and grab how much you think you should get back.
Oh, no!
That's the kind of mentality I'm thinking of.
Honestly, though, that's true.
Yeah.
That actually, I've had that conversation so much where I've been at like any situation where I needed change back, and if that machine wasn't telling them, and my mind is blown that no one's giving you that simple, nice, neat, easy way of just counting up.
Yeah.
And
simple
it drives
math.
me crazy. I mean, 847. I give you a 10. 47. Go 48, 49, 50. Take your 50 cents to $9. Grab the $1 up to 10. Bam. There you go. I've just given you all a life hack. You don't need the register. Just wait. It says you owe $8.47. Someone gives you a 10. Go, okay. Keep that 10 on top. And then go 47. Take 48.49 to 50 cents. 50 cents to $9. And then grab that $1 and make 10. There you go. You've got your change.
See, look at that.
I'm helping you out. Life hack. I'm not sure how this got missed in school since like the 90s, I feel like, maybe.
Yeah.
But, there you go. And I feel bad that no one's helped or trained that properly. Like, who do you blame at that point?
I don't know. I mean, I've never
Who
had
failed them?
I've maybe worked a register once in my life, and that was at a Walmart for maybe 3 months.
I was a bartender for 20 years.
So yeah, you've got it on hack. I mean, you're just like, bam, here we go.
At least, thankfully, most of the time, shit's 50 cents $1. When you're working at a bar, so you're not. But I mean, if you serve food, there's tax, and that's gonna throw off your change. So. And I had the old registers where literally I was just pumping in how much it was.
Yeah.
Like I hit a button, Bud Light $2, Bud Light $2, and then it would show up, and I'd hit the register, open it up, and it was up to me to figure it all out.
And I kind of feel like that's how a lot of registers are nowadays in restaurants and things, where it just says everything on the menus there, and you just press a button
for them.
Yeah.
Like it literally says everything for them. And now with credit cards and stuff, a lot of people aren't even bothering with change. They're just swiping it and handing you a thing too. But yeah, it's kind of a shame. We just this whole generation, we just screwed on teaching them how to count up. What about this Common Core I'm hearing about, eh?
Yeah.
Maybe the most brilliant people. I don't know. Common Core, please don't hate me. I don't know. I skipped that.
It doesn't.
I learned the regular math or however we used to do it.
I've had to sit here and watch my kids do it. And when they explain it to me, I get angry. Because it was like, this is like that scene in The Incredibles 2 where Mr. Incredible was like, math is math. I've had that moment where I was like, yes, Because I don't understand why you're taking this long route around to this answer
Yeah.
when it's as simple as boop, boop, boop.
Well, I
You know?
keep being told it's to help you understand numbers better. And okay, if I saw it in action and actually were to sit down with somebody who knew it and could show it to me, because I didn't have kids or anything, so I've only heard parents complain that are my age group. I've never seen it in action, so I don't know. I've just heard the frustration of 4 + 4 = 8. Why can't I just say 8? Why does it have to be 2 + 2 + 4 = 8 and 1 + 3 + 4 = 8 and then however that is? And I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Back in my day, they accepted 8, and I was allowed to move on.
Yeah.
I was allowed to put 8 and move on. They didn't care. I only had to show my work on like long division.
It doesn't make any sense. None of to our brains, which it feels like answer. I mean, it's right there.
Right, like if
Because
I just
it's so
know,
basic.
Can I just say,
I got 4 here. I got 4 here. That's 8.
and it makes
That's 8.
That's 8 things.
I don't need to understand the other numbers in there. That's 8.
I mean, I guess it depends on what field you're going in. But
I guess.
nothing in my life so far have I gone, damn it, I wish I knew Common Core. You know what I mean? Like I haven't hit that roadblock yet. But
No,
if it happens, I'll let you all know. But I'd be too dumb to realize that's what I needed in my life, right? Because I was never taught it. So we'll never know.
I mean, I feel like I could try or attempt to learn it, but I think the old part of my brain is like,
We're
no,
stubborn. This
no.
is math. We
Yeah.
do the real math. Nah.
Meh. So I'm just being an old fogey.
Being a curmudgeon. Yeah.
Hey,
Kids these days, they can't just do regular math. They got to make it harder.
so we got to talk about Sonic 2 because, you know, it's the most popular thing
the
we've ever
Sonic
talked
2-minute,
about.
yes.
The Sonic 2-minute. I don't know. I can't remember what happened. I didn't watch the movie again. So I'm trying to remember what happened. We got through the opening credits.
I think we got like the opening scene.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
what happens when the movie starts?
Well, I mean, didn't he get like thrown?
Oh yeah, it's Robotnik and his little mousetrap thing, and then he's doing the thing, and he's getting
And he
the
loses-
mushroom water,
Yes.
mushroom tea
I
or
was
coffee.
trying to remember when with the owl too, like his mama-ish,
Yeah,
mama creator, like, or at least protector.
yeah.
You know,
Okay, so
hits the heartstrings there.
we'll just say that yeah, we watched Dr. Robotnik get some mushroom milk or mushroom, was it coffee, tea,
Something like that.
a drink, a mushroom drink,
A
and it was
libation.
and it was terrible. Yeah, and it was terrible, and he spit it out, and we probably went over a minute there, but that's what happened in the next minute of the film, and we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna plug it. We'll come back next week and talk about the next minute.
It was a good minute, though.
Yeah, it was a good minute. It was pretty
funny.
funny.
Just a little bit of Dr. Robotnik's character
Mm-hmm.
and what was going to be presented to us in the film. You know, so
Right,
it's kind of
right.
our first introduction on building up his story
Yeah,
and how he fits in the world. So, I mean, very deep thought minute.
that's right. That's right. Got the classic look and everything. So
Oh yeah, well, I mean, kind of.
kind of yeah. He's just not
I
as
feel like
rotund.
yes, he was definitely a more round, robust fellow, and we
Yeah.
went the maybe before all of that happened. Maybe it's a prequel.
Yeah. Just think, by the time we get to the end of this, what we're going to be talking about, it's just going to be insane.
We're just gonna be making it up and see if you guys even notice that
Yeah.
point.
Because, I mean, I remember the movie. Just it took me a minute to kind of rejog. So we'll get
Right,
there.
right.
We'll see where we're at next week
We'll see
on
where
that
it's at
minute.
next week on the Sonic 2-minute.
Hey, what have you been playing?
So I did try Deathloop. I did
Okay.
give it a shot. I played it for a couple 3 hours the other day to give it a shot, and interesting premise, I guess. I don't know if it's enough to keep me specifically interested, and I'll explain. I don't
Right.
think it's a bad game. I'm just not sure if it's a Lacia game. So I probably even just kind of got through tutorialness, really, because it takes a little bit to, I guess, set up what the game is about, what you're doing in it, how you fit. And so I probably had gotten it to the point where, all right, and now here's your mission, go.
Yeah.
So I think I at least have a good enough idea of what it is. But you probably already seen it, first person, from the same arcade studios that did Dishonored, which is why I think I was kind of interested, because I did enjoy the first game, you know, of Dishonored. It kind of plays that way. There is some stuff that I feel I could tell was borrowed from. But as you're playing Colt, you have to break this loop. I'm just now learning maybe why we have to break this loop, but Juliana is the protector of the loop, and then Colt's the disruptor of the loop. But as I'm starting, I could only choose Colt. So I'm assuming once I finished, I guess, his storyline, then you can unlock Juliana for the other side, or that's just there for the multiplayer. Because I do know you can play online with friends and have someone be Juliana and just interrupt what you're doing and try to make it harder for you.
Yeah. So
in also moving through this world or whatever, you could have her drop in on you and just, make it harder. I'm not interested in that, but so I was getting abilities that reminded me a lot of Dishonored, where I could shoot forward real fast, like you pick a point and it would zip you there. I remember doing that in Dishonored. I did have a good time, though, with just being able to kill everyone with a knife or a machete. I actually got really good at that. I would die still, but I would take out like 10 to 12 of these mofos before they got me. I was pretty proud, but it was because I'd walk in on it by accident and like, oh, crap, well, they see me because I'm not good at stealth.
Yeah.
And it's not one of those that shows you where the enemies are right away. Like,
okay.
Basically, if you see another person, assume them an enemy at this point. Because, like, I've never been able to just walk on by someone and then think it was fine. Like, everyone in this world is after you because you're trying to break this loop.
So, question I have about that real quick. Are the enemy, is it, I don't want to do a one-to-one comparison to it, but are they like one-hit kills? Or is it something where you have to kind of work at it?
It depended, like, if you were using guns, it would depend on the power of the gun, obviously how good my aim was, how close or far. Machete kind of felt like just a one-shot. As long as I got up in there, it would kind of do an animation, whether I was spearing them straight through or up in the face. And then that I could just toss them off, and then that was fine. And then I would try to hurry up and zip to the next one. Because if I got myself in an aw crap moment, I'm not a great shooter, guys. I'll play shooters as an element, but I don't play them like one-on-one. So I'm not quick. I don't notice things right away, So when I have an oh crap moment, I just go all ham and just try to like kill everyone. And if I would have just not taken that last arrow to the knee, I guess it would have been fine. But yeah, there's also, you have a technology that you can pick up that hacks certain things too. So if there's turrets that the enemy has, you can hack those to be friendly to you. And so the kicker is you could be doing that same day over and over. So you eventually get to the point where you wake up on the beach, you kind of know where to go. So I think the whole, I've learned where certain things are. Now I've learned what my goal would be for this day, because they do have it set up in night and cycles too. Morning, noon, afternoon, and night. And so certain things are not available, of course, until certain parts of the day. So you might have to revisit something at a different time to pick up whatever clue you need to progress it forward. So I think at first I wasn't enjoying it because I'm like, are you telling me that if I die, I'm just going to have to keep starting over? And I wasn't sure I was good. And I knew that a little bit ahead of time, but I don't know if I knew to the extent. I was thinking, maybe it'll just rewind a little bit. I wasn't thinking that I had to start that day again. Which I didn't die enough for it to be annoying, at least. I did have one where I died all 3 times. You get 2 mulligans, basically. I don't know if we have golfers out there and why that's the only term I know. But you get 2 of those, and then on your 3rd one, you got to start that day over with that loop. So I had gotten to the point where it's like, okay, you get up, I know where to grab this gun, I grab this tech, I hack this door, I go through and I know where I have to go. And then once you've discovered something else, it might be like, now here's your new goal. And so I've gotten it to the point now where I've learned I have to kill 8 people in this 1-day cycle. And I'm like, oh, cool. I don't know how you think I'm going to figure out how to do that. So I think it's going to be a lot of having to do the levels, learning everything really well so you can basically speed run it. So you can get through the 1-day, full day cycle and get all of the people that you need to get to break that loop.
So it would be...
I think for me, it's going to be patience.
akin to maybe Hotline Miami in essence of,
maybe.
Learning where everyone's at and how to kind of figure it out.
Yeah,
Okay.
because and granted, in the 3 hours that I played, it didn't seem like there were as much variances outside of depending on what time of day you showed up.
Okay.
So if I went to my apartment during the day, it was a lot easier to get inside to my apartment and kind of duck around enemies. At night, whole other story. You might have to take a different route. You might end up having to kill some people to get to there. So depending on what time of day, you would have to probably memorize that too. I know I have to hit so-and-so in the afternoon. What's going on there in the afternoon? So I could learn that. This is my guessing without looking it up from having played. I tried not to cheat or look anything up. But I am confused, and I might just have to break down and and look this one up because I don't think I skipped it in the tutorial stuff. I try to read all that stuff so I know what's going on when I'm playing a video game. But there's these objects in certain levels that look all digitalized because this is like a digital thing, right? You're in this loop, you keep starting it over. So there's certain objects that you come across that definitely stands out as different.
Okay.
I have not figured out what they do or how to interact or anything with it. I've stepped on it. I've hit all the buttons. I've put the sights on it. I've shot it. I've tried my hacking device. The Hubs actually started playing it on PlayStation yesterday too. He saw me play and he goes, "Oh, we got that on PlayStation. I'm going to try it." He hasn't figured it out on that either. So I don't know if it's just there. It seems so weird that they would make it stand out so much that I'm not supposed to do something with it or collect it or something. So I might just have to cave and look that one up because I'm the type, I'll look up my settings and look at maps, the mapping for keyboard, mouse, or controller or whatever, just to see what button does things. Like maybe I just accidentally skipped it in the tutorial to hit blah, blah, blah button for thing 2. I couldn't find anything. So I don't know. It seems strange unless I need to just have patience and it'll make sense later on because I'll probably have to redo these loops again a couple times to get it more precise, or maybe there's a timer, for each thing where I'll have to get through it. So maybe I shouldn't spoil it. This is the tough thing where I'm like, do I look it up? Am I being stupid or am I just not being patient and it'll make sense later on?
Sure.
I don't know. But so far, I'm lukewarm on it.
Okay.
I don't hate it. I'm just not sure if it's a game that's going to hold my interest to make me want to see it through till the very end. Just because of my patience level will run out and I'll eventually just... And it's not a wrong way to play it, just to go in guns blazing if you want to and just, floor absolutely everybody on the level and do your thing. That's a valid way to do it. But some part of me when I'm playing these games always thinks I have to play it stealthy or what. It's this self-imposed rule I place on myself for whatever reason that can kind of steal a little of the enjoyment away because I'm like, then I'll put it down. I've lost my patience for it this time and I'll put it down. So I want to kind of at least give it another shot where I'm going through a full day loop where I have these goals set up now and maybe at least make an attempt to see if I can get all of my targets in that day. I just wonder if I'm going to start losing my patience with having to go through each level and learning it all eventually. And then if I die enough to just have to start over. But I'm probably worrying about something that hasn't happened yet, but I've already put that in my head, this mechanic might get on your nerves,
Right.
But I haven't died enough for it to be a pain. So I'm probably putting that in my head too early. But yeah. So I'm kind of meh on it. I'd like to hear your opinion if you do,
Yeah.
I think it's just one of those, I'm just not sure if it's for Lacia.
Right. No,
But
it's definitely one I want to give a try at some point. I mean, free. I can't beat free. And that's
Right.
what I've been trying to say is with everything they're offering on the PlayStation Plus program right now, if there's a game I want to try,
Yeah.
I might as well just jump on it. And I just feel like there's too many. I honestly do not intend to buy a new game anytime soon.
I haven't felt the need, honestly.
No.
Except for my FMVs, I'll still throw them my monies because I want them to keep making them. But yeah.
Sure. But no, a lot of these newer games, like I think I was talking to someone about Saints Row the other day, and they were just like, "Well, have you bought it yet? It's not as broken as it was." I was like, I do.
But it's
I still
not as broken as it was. Hasn't it been out like a month?
Yeah, I guess they patched it and it's running fine.
Well, that's good. But I thought most of the complaints were just the feel and the story just didn't feel
it
hit the same.
But there was the brokenness of it too, so it was a lot going against it, and that was enough for me to just not want to throw money at it. Yeah. And I'm kind of hoping that since, the other Saints Row games are on PlayStation Plus, this one will eventually wind up over there. And then when
you'll find it in a sale bin for $5 in like 6 months or something.
Yeah, I don't want to not support certain developers, but they're not one of the ones that I'm just like going, oh my God, they've got to have support all day long.
Right.
You had plenty of time to work this out and you dropped the ball. And again, I haven't played it and I might enjoy it, but I'm not chomping at the bit to play it.
Yeah.
Like I was before.
I was excited, and then I was the same way once I saw some stuff coming out. And I'm not usually that way. I'm usually let me see it first, make my own opinion. But some of that was just too hard to ignore.
Yeah.
And then one of my reviewers that I usually connect with, kind of agreed on its meh factor, and that's when I went, all right, damn it.
Yeah.
You and this person loved the entire series way more than I even did and was feeling that way about it. So that's when I felt sad, but all right, I'll just wait till it's free, like you said, or if it comes on a super sale where I have nothing to do and I'll throw a couple bucks at it. But that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah. Well, what can you do?
Yeah.
What can you do? What have you been playing, though, or have you been able to?
Well, I was honestly sitting there thinking that I hadn't played anything this week, but I guess technically, since last we talked, I did play more of the Avengers. That was just on last Sunday. So, it's been all week practically that I haven't played anything, but I did play a little. And I noticed something, and this was really, really odd, because I'd been talking about the leveling system, and I just felt like, the slog. But I think I figured out what the real slog is, because I don't know how I felt about this, because I've been looking through just how they've got it all set up. Okay, you have an experience system, which you can unlock new abilities and new moves and all that. Then you have this other set of unlockables, and I'd been looking at it, and I was like, what is going on here? And what you notice about all these extra unlockables, and it would be like a nameplate or a new skin, things you really want.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then there would be this little thing at the bottom that says free, but it also, on the opposite side, says 100 of these little credits that I've, again, not collected a damn one of.
Okay.
So.
Not a single one.
Not a one. I don't know what but I think I figured out how to earn them, maybe. Like you said, maybe the online play. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
Perhaps. So I was looking into this. I was like, all right, so what is this? So I really dug into it to try and understand what is that I need to do. Well, apparently there are challenges, and you have to activate those. And then you activate those and you've got a window of time, 7 days or whatever bullshit that you have to do this in. And then that earns you credits toward this thing that you unlock. And then that thing will unlock, and then you can have that thing. But you have to do these challenges. And I thought, okay, fair enough. What's the challenge? It's like, well, you have to do this one move 50 times. And I was like, all right, well, let me look. So I went through my moves. I found it. I hadn't yet unlocked it. So I made my mission to unlock it, and I unlocked it. It was like, all right, how do I do the move? Well, you have to block. Then as soon as you block, then you counter with a move. And then that move requires you to hit two buttons, in sequence, where it's like you block, dodge, attack, but then the attack turns into yet another attack that you have to hit the other button just so. to then do that move.
That sounds like one I would get just accidentally one day.
Yeah, I kept attempting to do it, and not once did I ever pull it off. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, so I guess I'm not doing this challenge.
Yeah.
There was an easier one that just said, do like your takedown moves. I was like, fantastic, I can do that. And I even figured out, because there was a moment where I was like, how, normally takedown moves is the enemy is near death, and then you get that option. And I kept beating up enemies, and the option never came up. And I was like, what am I doing wrong here? And then I found a way. Heavy hits. Boom, boom, boom. They go into a stun mode. Takedown. And I was like, aha! So
there you go.
I figured that one out. Mm-hmm. Now, in playing this, I unlocked Black Widow. How far that is into the story beats the shit out of me. But now she's a playable character.
There you go.
As soon as I got her, I don't know what happened. I don't know how what in the game was working to my favor, but I leveled her up very fast. Not unlocking the skins and all that, mind you, but her ability tree. She I have almost all of her abilities right now, and it was just like boom, level up, boom, level up, boom, level up, and I was like, holy shit. So I don't know what makes her different.
Yeah.
And then the other characters I've been playing, or maybe I just did something.
Somehow downloaded some XP booster you didn't realize, or something that came with the free version. I don't know. It kind of took me aback, because I was like, well, shit, if I've got her leveled up this fast already, then I'll just, take the other characters for a spin. But that's the other part of it, is then I have to go and replay these things with other characters, and it's
then
a
it's
grind.
That's the part of it I don't want to do. I enjoy it. For what it is. I've been enjoying the story for what it is, but when I think about that grind,
yeah,
what am I getting from it?
Way when it comes to grindiness in games, I'm just.
And then what do? They're just like, hey, if you use some of these credits here, you don't have to grind. This is an easy. I'm trying to remember the term that they use in the game. A quick pass or some shit.
Oh, where they make it too hard and then sell you the easy patch or whatever. I don't know about that. I don't know.
No, that is absolute. Even the verbiage of it is a scam, because it's, like I said, quick pass, or here you can, and even the way they describe it, it's just like, take all the worry and whatever out of it, and just. Here's a quick pass. You take that, and boom, you get everything that you wanted. You
didn't actually want to play the game. Here you go.
Yeah, and
we're making it so ridiculous.
It is. It is.
Buy it.
I mean, and the funny thing about it is, at least from where I'm standing, there are some really awesome costumes and skins that I would love to have, and then there are others I don't want that. And it's funny, because the really good ones are the ones that they bury, because they're like, we know you want this.
Oh, yeah.
But we're not going to give it to you. It's like, well, you son of a bitch. You're going to have to grind for that
hours. One. Yep.
And I'm just, I haven't spent a dime on this game, and I don't intend to spend a dime on this game. I'm not buying a costume.
Nope.
Not going to do it.
No.
So
I never really could see for that sort of stuff. If you like it, by all means, throw your money at it. You work for your money. You can spend it on whatever you want to.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to cosmetics, nah.
No. I remember do you remember when we used to play games and then it just unlocked stuff because you were good at the game?
Yeah.
You remember that?
You just play it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just did the stuff and
stuff would unlock.
Of course, we didn't have like all the achievements and that many unlockables.
Yeah.
I can remember. It'd be like fighters or something. Here's extra fighters or a special level that you might have accidentally found.
It just
how
feels.
Many of us really beat Mario the right way? Just real talk.
Yeah, it just feels so icky that this is where we're at now.
And that's I think one of the reasons that attributed to like the whole games journalism gross. So, like they're just being so gross to everyone now. It feels like. Well, even did you see it today with Disco Elysium, the developers there?
No.
The news was like just breaking about this. I knew this is how I found out. Apparently, there was a sequel being made that I had no idea about. And I know you didn't play it. I did. I loved it. I wasn't obsessed with it. I know some people played it several times and all that kind of stuff. But Alexander Rostov, Robert Kurvitz, and Helen Hinpier were like involuntarily pushed out of the studios, it seems. And they were the director, the writer, and the lead artist. And it seems like some sort of corporate greed situation where the investors and everything, you know, started trying to go a different direction with it and just kind of pushed out the main people who started this whole thing. So I saw that there was a Medium post that one of them put out to confirm that they dissolved what they called their collective. So there was the ZAUM collective, which I guess they were making it sound like that was the artist group who managed to get funding to create this thing. So ZAUM will still live on, but it's not the same people. They called it the artist collective has been involuntarily pushed out, while the ZAUM as it sits right now will still move on. But and this is what I could understand from what I was reading today, because it seemed like it just broke, at least started trending to that it came to my idea. And it breaks my heart because a lot of the tones in that game too, to just hear it being gobbled up by corporate greed just is way too on the nose.
Yeah.
And too horrible to, so I mean, I was just reading about it today, so I'm not sure I have a complete understanding of the whole situation, but I'm wondering if they'll be able to still make the money off of the sales for the second. I mean, it's their thing.
Yeah,
so I need to look into it more to try to understand what happened, but all three of them, the director, the writer, and lead artist, has confirmed that they're not involved anymore. And I guess since about the end of 2021. And then the last couple ones just fell off at this point. It just seemed like the way they were making it sound. The investors who were great, who gave them the opportunity to turn this into what they were able to, are also the ones who kind of screwed them out of their own vision. So I'm hoping they have rights to that first one in some regard. But I just,
yeah, that's messed up. I mean, I hate that they would have to go through that. And I mean, all the reviews that we've heard about that game, I do want to check it out. And
it's a great game. It's very, very dialogue heavy. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
It really takes a certain type of person to want to go through an RPG like that, because it's very dialogue heavy. But the story is so good. The options you get are so good. The art style is so cool looking. Like, it was such a well thought out art piece.
Sure.
Really. And man, I wish them well in whatever they're hoping to set out to do next or whatever. And I just hope they can get their dues as far as that first one still, because you're right, it won awards. It was crazy how well it did, and well, I shouldn't say that. It was a great piece, so they earned all of those accolades. But yeah, just sounds like they just got forced out from the people giving them the money, wanting to, I guess, maybe go a different direction. I don't know why you would force out your director, writer, and lead artist. Those are your pieces, man. And I know there's a lot more people that go into it, but like, this is their baby.
And it makes you wonder what the mentality was from the higher ups, I guess, that forced them out.
Yeah.
Because are they thinking that they're going to ask for more and they're just not willing to give it to them, even though they were the people responsible for making this a hit?
Yeah.
The greed.
Greed gets in the way. Like, I can never understand anymore. This is why I hate money, and this will be a whole other rant that isn't for here. But I mean, look how we treat each other over this shit.
Sure. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, But anyway, yeah, I didn't know if you had saw that, but I wasn't sure because I knew you hadn't played the game, so you probably wouldn't follow it like I follow their stuff. So that's probably how it landed in my feed and everything. But
no, I missed that one. That's a shame.
It's such a shame. It really is. It really, really is. But,
well, we've got one big thing that I want to cover, but I felt like there was another news story that we might want to just touch on.
Well, I
this week.
did want to see if you saw this and get your thoughts on it.
Okay.
That new Monster Hunter-like Wild Hearts that EA is putting out.
No.
It's like a Monster Hunter-like game. That's why I was wondering if maybe you had seen it. And I know EA, so we're always going to be a little like, nah,
Sure.
you know. But yeah, they just revealed that they're collaborating with some other team to do Wild Hearts. It'll be a new IP, and it looks very much a Monster Hunter game, like a Monster Hunter action hunting game. Supposedly early next year, if I'm remembering correctly off of what I was reading for it. But I knew you and Katrina like to play Monster Hunter together.
Yeah.
So didn't know if this would be a new fun one that might catch your eye.
Well,
Takes place feudal era Japan. And
okay.
so I was like, this sounds like up your two alley. I just knew the EA is always going to be that point of contention where it's like, what are you going to do to it? Will you make it good? Will you not? But yeah, if you hadn't heard it, then look at it. I'd love to hear your thoughts if that's something you think you would like. The art style looks cool. Just the
Repeat it, the title to me again, because I guess my mind blanked and I'm sitting here searching for it.
Wild Hearts.
Wild Hearts. I don't know why my
Yeah.
head was thinking of something else.
Yeah, no.
Wild
I said a lot
Hearts.
of things, and I tend to muddle sometimes when I'm going through. But I mean, it looked like it might be a lot of fun. It's a gorgeous looking game, but you know, and obviously you can play co-op. I think 3 people, 4 people, something like that, with crossplay.
Yeah. Okay.
People are trying to throw that in there, but we'll see. Something to keep an eye on, maybe, and we'll just see how EA does it, of course, and what they do to it to make it a money machine. I guess I don't know. Buy your monsters. I don't know.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me a bit. It's like, hey, do you want this special thing for your monster that will do nothing for you but make it look pretty? Mm-hmm. Do you
make it look cool?
Want a skin for your monster? So it's like, because I don't know if you fight them or if you get to train them. I don't know.
No, you do fight them. It does seem like you will be fighting the monsters coming in, and you can team up to take down your monsters. It'll be coming through.
So what about old Skull and Bones can't catch a break, huh?
Like, I don't know what they're doing anymore. Do they even know? Is this even? I'm starting to feel like this is a log troll.
So
this game never was going to happen.
here's what I think needs to help the game come out. Is they need to turn it into an Assassin's Creed title, and then it will release
every year.
Because how many Assassin's Creed titles were we promised during their big presentation? Like 5 or 6?
Know. A lot. That's like the game.
Call it Assassin's Creed Skull and Bones, repackage it, and then boom, there you go. It'll come out.
What is the vision change that keeps, I don't. And for someone like me who didn't care that much in the first place 6-7 years ago, whatever it was now, I feel like that they announced it was coming out. It was the same year as Sea of Thieves, I want to say, that I was watching that E3, and those were both announced at roughly on the same E3, maybe even. I could be muddling them, but close together. It was close. And then Sea of Thieves came out, and then we never heard anything more about Skull and Bones, and I forgot about it.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who keep every year going, hey, we're still here. We're like, cool, I guess. I don't know if we care anymore, but here you are.
Yeah.
23 now, I guess.
It's like we were interested in you when you
care still. This is all I want to know. Do we have any listeners that's been like, damn it, will you just release it already? Or are we all like, well, I guess.
Yeah, I personally, it did look really interesting. Yeah. The first time I saw it.
Black Flag is like still my favorite Assassin's Creed game out of the very few I played.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool.
Yeah. Pirates. Okay. We're doing pirates now. Awesome. I was intrigued. It looked great. And then by comparison to Sea of Thieves, we're like, oh yeah, this is going to be the one to top. And then Sea of Thieves comes out, and obviously it had some problems of its own, but at least it came out.
Right. And improved on it. And actually made a game.
But whatever this is, my interest in it was there initially, and I don't care now.
Yeah.
I really have no I don't really care. And I honestly feel like that's how I feel about a lot of games. Yeah, there are ones that I'm looking forward to that I want to come out, and I feel like I'm not going to hear delayed for another year or delayed for several years. Like Spider-Man, for example. Spider-Man 2. I feel like that'll come out on time. I say on time in the sense of if they say 2023, I'll expect it sometime in 2023.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
At some point, yeah.
Right. I'm not going to assume it's going to be delayed for another year. I don't see why it would be delayed for another year. It could be. Don't know. But I feel confident that if they say 2023, I'm going to see it sometime between January and December.
Right.
Fair enough. But yeah, this is just, like you said, it's a long troll at this point.
I feel like it has to be because you've given us several release dates that have never happened. And then I feel like they went dark for a while. So I just assumed it's done. We're not going to talk about it. And then like a year ago, they're like, hey, we're actually still planning on this. You know, we're like, oh, okay. And then they're like, JK, now it's actually.
See, this is why I have.
Man.
This is why I have problems like this, because I'm in the same mindset, you know. Well, going back to Super Mega Crash Adventures, I really didn't want to release it until I was confident it was all done. But, you know, that was done in the sense of what I thought was done, which was a set amount of episodes. And then things just stretched out, and I was like, shit, it's going to take forever. So here's what I got done, and that's all I can do. You know, I know it's not the same thing, but the mentality of it all is like, I want to give people something. I don't want to tell you it's happening and then not deliver. And I already did that once, and I was like, well, fuck. I need to stay true to my word. So they need to stop telling people, hey, this is coming out.
Honestly, I've been saying that forever. Don't even say crap until you're pretty confident you're about a 6-month window out.
It's like that.
Like, that's enough time to advertise, get people on board, and buy your game.
Well, for me, the most recent example of that I felt like worked perfectly was the Guardians of the Galaxy game. We didn't even know shit about it. And then suddenly they were just like, at E3, it's like, bam, a Guardians game's coming out this October. And you're like, oh, shit.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. And it was, in my opinion, pretty flawless as far as, you know, it wasn't a broken game. They didn't rush it. It felt like they put everything together.
It was a good game. I have to push back on the broken unless that was just my Game Pass version because it did crash on me a lot.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I didn't
had
encounter
issues,
that.
But yeah.
Right. So that's a situation of being surprised by something. You're like, oh, cool. That would be awesome. And then they're just like, and it's just right around the corner. And you're like, oh, all right. So yeah, do that, game publishers.
Right.
You know?
That they'll never learn now.
No, they won't.
We've just pushed into this weird day and age now that's just, I don't know. I don't get what we're doing anymore, but it's feeling gross. Go indie.
Woo! Go indie. Well, speaking of indie,
I'll just keep saying.
Because I feel like they're getting screwed over here, we got to talk about the huge elephant in the room, and that's Google Stadia is now done. Which,
if I'm honest, I thought already had. See,
I think
they did, but
we had discussed how it just seemed like it was faltering, like we didn't hear a lot about it. It was just, you know, I think it was falling by the wayside quietly, and then eventually they had to, you know, pull the plug. So it launched November 19th, 2019. So it almost made it 3 full years. Almost?
Yeah, almost.
And I guess technically, well, no. Well, it's still active until the end of the year.
Okay.
But they have halted all sales for anything. So
and
you
I
can't.
saw certain things you're getting refunded too.
Right. So the idea is, or at least based on the email. In fact, I can pull that up right now because as you recall,
you had it a couple times,
I didn't pay a dime.
I did it once. I tried it once.
So I don't expect to get a refund. I'm not going to be salty if I don't get a refund because I didn't pay anything. You know what I mean?
I was just going to ask, did you buy anything from it?
No, I really didn't.
I did the free thing they offered and played that one game, Guilt.
Yeah, I was going to
built
get.
just for Stadia.
I was
God,
going to
hope
get
that
to
gets
that
supported somewhere else.
because I've got some things to say about that here. So here's the official statement to me from Google. It says on September 29th, 2022, we announced that Stadia service will be shutting down on January 18th, 2023. Stadia will remain available for gameplay until the service is shut down on January 18th. During this period, you will have access to your game library, including pro games if you've had an active pro subscription as of September 29th. Be aware that publisher support for any game will vary, and it's possible that your gameplay experience may be affected during the shutdown period. Refunds. Google is offering a refund to Stadia users for Stadia hardware purchases, which is Controller, Founders Edition, Premier Edition, Play and Watch with Google TV package made on the Google Store, and game purchases and add-on purchases made on the Stadia Store. Refund process will take some time. Expect to have a majority of refunds processed on January 18th. We expect to be able to automatically issue immediate refunds for a substantial portion of transactions as a credit to the form of payment used to make the purchase. For purchases that we're not able to automatically refund, you will receive an email with details on how to obtain said refund.
Does it say up to what date?
Uh,
Purchases?
It says all commerce functionality on Stadia purchases now been disabled. Users who have an active pro subscription as of the 29th, that seems to be the date, the 29th, will not be charged for access to their library, other subscription entitlements during that period. Historical Stadia Pro subscription fees, so I guess anything in the past, they are not eligible for a refund. So don't expect to get your money back if you paid for it.
I was wondering up to a certain point, because if you still used the service for, the year you subscribed or something, that feels fair. But I'm curious about the games.
Okay, so I have heard about this. No, that's what I wanted to talk about. So, as of what I've seen, Ubisoft is the only one thus far that has taken an approach where they are going to allow players to transfer any Ubisoft games to their platform, to one of their whatever Ubisoft Plus or whatever the
they have their own launcher.
Yeah. So you're going to be able to move those over, and you've got access to that, which I feel like is very appropriate.
That is very kind to do. I mean, they still got the money for the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is how I feel. They still paid for it. Yeah.
I genuinely feel like most publishers, and indie publishers may not be able to do that. Of course, I don't know what the situation
deal is too.
Yeah. Because Here was one of the things that I really wanted to touch on, because we talked about this back in episode 149, maybe like 2 some odd years ago. It's when I did kind of like a face-off. Like I got this, and I had the Luna, and I was trying to figure out, how did they fare? I'm almost positive at that point in time I said Luna was the superior service based on the way it presented itself, because it's just, a small little subscription fee, and you have access to games. Even as a Prime member right now, because I even kind of went back and looked back at it, because I don't really look at it. I have no reason to. But as a Prime member, I'm already getting free games I could play. Like they offer up, I don't remember what they are for this month, so forgive me, but they are giving Prime members free games. So you already have access to games. They might not be the greatest games, but you have access to free games that you can play on Luna at any point. No extra charge beyond your Prime membership. But then you have the channels, like a retro channel or an Ubisoft channel or whatever, and then there are games catered to that element. Family channel, so you get family games. You got a Jackbox channel, Jackbox games. So they cater, and these are very small subscription fees. It's like what, $6-7 or something, if I'm not mistaken. So a very small fee, monthly fee, and you have a library of games that you can access. It's really a good idea. I don't think they charge, because that was the other thing I was exploring at that time. Luna does not. allow you to purchase games. It's just a subscription service.
Kind of like a Game Pass. Like, you got it as long as it's on here, and then that's that. Yeah.
And to me, that's the way to do it. That seemed like the ideal way. Stadia didn't offer that. This is where I felt like Stadia failed. Obviously, they had the EA and the Ubisoft things that you could kind of do, but they didn't offer anything with the equal value that Luna was offering.
Sure.
So the biggest fear that we had, what happens to our games? As we see right now, Ubisoft's the only one so far, so what are you going to do? You may get your money back for the games, but you've lost your game. So...
Well... Yeah.
In essence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you're the type who would want to continue from your save spot, or maybe you're the type who likes to collect your achievements. Yeah, all of that would be gone.
Sure. So there were 5 games because I wanted to make sure I had this correct. Because I could only remember one exclusive game on the service. Apparently there were 5.
Oh,
and the question now becomes, what happens to these games?
Yes.
One game, and I have nothing to compare to the others to, so if anyone else has played these, they can chime in. But I only have one that I'm most concerned about. There was a Hello Engineer game, which is kind of like that Hello Neighbor. Okay. I don't remember who was responsible for that. Like
for Hello Neighbor?
Yeah, wasn't that it was a AAA publisher with that?
No.
Or was it a smaller one?
Oh my gosh, why is my brain so broken?
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you say it, I'm going to be like, yes.
A search engine here.
Yeah, I know. If only we were in front of a computer. And then you'll say it and we'll be... Tiny Build. Does that
Tiny
sound
Build.
right?
There
Tiny
you go.
Build?
Yep.
Hey, I did it without looking.
Okay,
but
so...
let me double check myself.
Tiny Build, that was their game they published on that platform. I haven't heard if they're going to roll that over. I don't see why that would be a hard rollover, especially for a publisher like Tiny Build, because they do a lot of mobile stuff anyway.
Sure.
There's a Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle.
Huh?
Don't know what the deal with that. I don't feel like that's going to be a loss to time. I don't ever remember hear people clamoring for Mega Tunnel Battle on Pac-Man. There was Pixel Junk Raiders, which looked kind of fun, but I don't ever remember hearing anything about it. And
no, I'm looking at it now. I was like, maybe if I look at the art or something, it'll trigger a memory. But
okay, well, looking at reviews, it got piss poor reviews, so I guess that's not going to be much of a loss for anybody. I hate to say that. I mean, especially if you like that.
I guess if nobody was playing it, but still, yeah, that's sad.
Then there was Outcasters. Again, another one I wasn't all that familiar with. Who kind of... I mean, it seems like it had some fairly decent reviews. Publisher was obviously Stadia Games, and then Splash Damage and War Chest were the developers. Their names I don't really know.
No.
It looks like one of those top-down battle... I don't know what you call that.
Yeah, I was looking at some stills here. Yeah.
But Guilt, like you previously mentioned, that's the one that I want to see find a new home on all other platforms, because Tequila Works did this. They've done a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about them in the past before. I don't see any reason why Tequila Works could not port this over and find it a new home. Whether it's on PC, Steam, one of those, do that, or the Switch, PlayStation, Xbox. I don't give a damn.
Right.
It can come to all of them for all I care. I don't want this game, because it was the only game I played on there that was an exclusive, and I loved it, and I was so disappointed that it was an exclusive, because I was like, this is a really solid game that no one is going to play because it's on Stadia. And I hated to say that. I know I said that back in the review.
Yeah.
I know for a fact I did, because it was a solid game that kept my attention. But no one was going to play it. And maybe now there's that possibility. I don't see a reason why this would be the case. But at the same time, I don't understand how these things work. Because I'm going to do another comparison because this is corporations are really doing some shit. I'll at least give Google some credit. They're offering refunds. They are not ripping people off saying, "Hey, I know you invested money in this, but fuck you. You're out money. You're out all this stuff." I mean, I've got a Google Stadia controller now that. What am I going to do with it? As if I can use it for Steam, then great.
You might be able to. I mean, I think it's kind of interesting these days how pretty much any controller can be used on just about anything. I've told you, I've used my PS5 controller on my PC games.
Mm-hmm. And, I think I did read that...
plug and play for most of them.
Yeah, I felt like I read that I could at least plug and play. It might not work
if you
for
like it.
Bluetooth.
Enough to want to use it.
It's not a bad controller. I mean, I've wanted a decent controller for Steam, and maybe it would entice me to play more Steam games, but I don't know. I mean, if that's what I can use it for now, then so be it. At least I've got a decent...
Got a Bluetooth controller.
Yeah, I've got one. But where was I going with this?
We were talking about guilt.
Yeah, guilt.
Wanting it ported over.
No, the corporation of it all.
Oh.
So this may not seem like it fits in the narrative, but I feel like it does because Warner Brothers Discovery, that is a dumpster fire right now. I don't know if you've been keeping up with a lot of what they're doing, but they are pulling some really shady shit. The one thing that they pulled this week that Google easily could have done is, have you ever heard of the show called Final Space?
No.
Okay, this was an animated program that came out on TBS. I remember seeing it and I thought, it might be worth checking out. Olin Rogers is the creator of the show. He's done some things prior to that. I think I first heard about him on Conan, and he's actually native to Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. Oh. So he's a local boy. And he created the show, kind of a passion project for him. I think it went from TBS and then transitioned over to HBO Max, and series continued. But now, since, Warner Brothers Discovery is just, killing things left and right, like Batgirl.
Oh, since their merger.
Yeah. Because he's trying to save the company.
That's what I hear. Supposedly it didn't fall in line with, I don't really know.
So do you want to know how Final Space falls into saving the company? If you didn't hear this. So
I did not know.
Not only has the show been canceled, but the show is now going to be a tax write-off, which means it has been pulled from everything.
Oh, so like Syndicate gone?
You can't get it on syndication. You can't get it on digital platforms like Vudu or Amazon. It's not on HBO Max. Furthermore, as a tax write-off, you will never see it again. Ever.
I don't understand how this works.
I don't understand either, because not only that, but they have removed the series from people's digital library.
No.
Yes.
Are they giving me my money back?
Nope.
This is why I don't trust buying things digitally, you guys.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I have yet to buy a movie or anything that way, and I'm not, for sure.
Well, honestly, as soon as I heard that, I started thumbing through mine, and I'm like, what did you steal?
Yeah.
Because, now granted, I will say this, most of my digital copies are from a physical copy, and then I had the digital code. A lot of them are, but there are a few. I'll look on Vudu, and it'll be like, hey, $5 for this movie. You wanna watch that? And I'm like, I really kind of do. And I can't find it anywhere else, and it's $5, so bloop, and it's easy. So I've got suckered into it. I understand that.
Yeah.
But that right there is bullshit.
Yeah.
You paid for that.
I'm sure it's in that stupid fine print there about
it
how
is.
You're just leasing it or some crap that legally allows them to take it back. I'm sure it is. None of us read all that garbage.
I mean, that was the main focal point that they kind of pointed out. It's like, well, in the agreement that you signed, because
they know we're not going to read all that crap. And even if we did, we're not lawyers. We don't understand all the jargon.
But what drove me up the wall about it the most is this was the man's creation. The show has been on. This wasn't Batgirl, a movie that never came out.
which was almost
This-
done to my understanding, which I still find stupid. But yes, to your point, this was already
This was released. This was out.
like long before Dude took over. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do
what
you
are you
get to
doing?
take this series, someone's creation, and then just erase it from existence as if it never happened as a
'Cause money.
tax write-off?
Tell you, man, this is why I hate money. Look how we treat each other over this shit.
I hope that he's looking for some kind of legal recourse, because that, to me,
That could be a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. All
Like,
the sales.
I know a lot of people. Well, I don't know them personally, but if you look into like a lot of writers and things like that, like a lot of their paychecks are their syndication of their work and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like you take that's a whole paycheck probably.
Yeah.
Just gone because you want to write it off as a tax write-off.
I mean, genuinely, I would love to do a commercial for that very same thing. You know, just the checks, just a little extra money rolling in, all because of that very thing.
Yeah.
There's no telling what he's making off of the streaming rights. Like you said, syndication, if it was on syndication, all this stuff. It's just not. So did he get a payoff? I didn't hear he did. So he's
Probably
getting
not.
dick.
They don't care about that.
No, it's just it's a casualty of this bullshit that he's doing over there. It's a dumpster fire, I'm telling you. I don't know what they said, and it like my brain couldn't wrap my head around it. They said they only have the ability to release 2 more films this year.
I think I was hearing that too.
And see, and I was sitting there thinking, what 2 films? Because you've already been promoting Black Adam like crazy. And then I thought,
22 though.
it's coming out in a few weeks.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's one. And I was like, so what's number 2? And for some reason in my head, I thought it was Shazam, but apparently they got booted to March. So it's not technically under the 2022 window. What's the second movie? Fuck if I know. I have no idea. So
Yeah, I don't know, because like even Aquaman 2's next year, right?
see, I would have thought that would have been this year, but I think you're right. I think that got booted to next year.
And then The Flash, right, was next year.
Yeah,
Right?
that one got booted.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, I mean, what does that mean? You
Yeah,
know?
I don't know. I'm confused too.
Like, I got so excited thinking, or I got worried for a moment, thinking that another one of these chopping block things was going to be the MonsterVerse, like the Godzilla and Kong movies, because they were talking about doing another, or they are honestly filming another Godzilla Kong movie, which surprised the shit out of me. But then I remembered, Warner Brothers doesn't technically own that. That's under Legendary. And Legendary said, you know what? This looks terrible. We're going to go over here and find somebody else to talk to about this and maybe distribute. And because you look like you're struggling over here.
Yeah. Guys,
Fair.
you guys need a timeout. You need a moment to recollect because, yeah, you've had a rough year-ish.
Yeah. I'm so glad that there's a studio out there with some, intelligence saying, we're going to gather up our toys and we're just going to go over here.
We're just going to go over here now. Yeah, thank you, though.
This just looks dangerous. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So
You guys figure this out on your own. This is
Yeah.
a family matter.
So in essence, what I'm trying to say is, I hate that people are having to go through this. I think we called this very early on that Google Stadia, just even from the announcement, we knew something was amiss. There was just some element to it that was just not. It was not happening.
All of it was amazing. My sticking point was the always online.
Yeah.
And not that it was bad tech or that I didn't think it was cool or giving games probably to a lot of people who cannot afford these systems to play them on. 100%. I feel it. But when you needed 25 megabits for that was the low end that you were asking from people. And the national average, at least in the States, was 16. That was where I went, how many people are going to be able to utilize this technology, even if they wanted to, because they're being gate kept behind internet providers that aren't improving their bandwidth, That was where I thought it wouldn't go. I wanted to see it. It's cool tech.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean they're clearly using it for other things within Google, as they've stated. It's not just the tech isn't dying, just that service is. But
Right. So,
That
I mean,
was my thing. I was like, how are you going to expect them to be able to, you know?
yeah, it all sounded great, but there was always that problem in the back of our heads. We were like, it's missing an element. And I genuinely feel, going back to Luna, will that last? I don't know. But I feel like it has more staying power because of the way they're approaching it. Stadia was a solid idea, but there's just flaws, chinks in its armor that they never really addressed.
Yeah.
And
And I kind of feel like, and this is just us talking, right? I don't know anything about the business or anything, but it feels like a lot of the money that they spent maybe in creating their own developing teams or, putting more money into that creation part of it, maybe could have helped if you had more exclusive talent that was coming out from there. And again, I still think the internet was a huge barrier.
Sure.
And like, no matter how many amazing developing teams you get, if you don't have the internet to play it, you don't have the internet to play it.
Right.
But it seemed like they were just throwing a lot of it at some of the technology, which again, you should do, but maybe there was missed opportunities instead of throwing all the money to buy the AAA games to go onto their service, like Red Dead and things like that. Maybe all of that millions of dollars should have gone into creating your own developing team or something, we're just spitballing now, but
right.
I feel like spending all of that money to make sure those AAA games would be used on your service probably could have been spent somewhere else to help build your service, but
I don't
know if that would have worked either. But
I think even before they put exclusives on the platform, they really should have. And I know that that's usually a driving point or selling point where you can be like, well, this is the only place you can buy and play this game. And Guilt, like I say, it's a great game, but I don't feel like it was a big enough title or just an exciting enough title that warranted, oh my God, I have to go get. It was the first game I played because it looked cool. And I didn't pay anything for it, so
and it was exclusive to that system. So I felt I wanted to play that game. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. It's like this is the only place I can play it. That's what I'm going to do. Still feel like it needs to wind up somewhere else, and I'd see no reason why it can't. But again, I don't know the legal.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know
who owns it. Maybe Google will just be cool enough to be like, here, Tequila Works. Just here's your work back. Hopefully.
And I genuinely feel like the way this is going, I don't see Google being a dick about this and being like, well, these games can't go anywhere else. I feel like they're going to be
funding customers. I feel like they should be kind to their people.
I think even their approach right now, the way everything's going, I see no reason that these games will not wind up on a different platform.
Sure.
How soon? I don't know. I don't think it'll be anytime soon, but I feel like we'll get that trailer a year from now where it's like, the hit Google Stadia title is now on Nintendo Switch or now on your PlayStation. Mm-hmm. It'll happen.
Sure.
Just give it time. But I hate that they kind of went through this, but it's not surprising either. And that's really where I want to kind of leave it at. It's a shame. It's a great idea. Right, and I feel that other companies have executed it better than Google. And they even had good people on their team. I think we heard when it got announced, Jade Raymond was one of the she was like the person in charge trying to lead this, and I don't fault her for it. In fact, she left, didn't she?
Yeah.
I think that should have been writing on the wall right there.
I think
the moment
that's
she
when
left.
We were like, dong, dong, da, dong.
Yeah.
Here it goes.
So it was inevitable, as much as I hate to say it. I wanted to see it succeed. I was kind of hoping it would find its footing, but it never felt like it was going to. And when they came to me as a Google, and they were just like $100. Think about that, $100. The Google Chromecast, the controller, $100 value, and they're just like, "We'll give this to you for free."
Yeah,
and I'm like, seriously?
Over there.
I mean, how can I say no?
Right? Yeah.
I was just
I mean, I would have done the same thing. Like, fine, if you're gonna give it to me for free, I'll check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was just like, shit, sure. I mean, I'm not one to say no to free.
Right? It's a good price. That free.
Yeah, it's always a good price. So
afford it.
I felt like to me that was another warning sign. It was trying to entice people, so it was like we'll give it to them for free. We'll cut that cord. We'll take that cut or take that loss, and hopefully we'll make it up when they buy a game. Well, I never did. Now I will say that I did pay for the Stadia Pro. I think once or twice.
Oh yeah.
I think I made a lapse. You know, sometimes you forget to cancel something.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
And I was just like, shit. Okay. Well, I guess I'm paying for this, and I never.
I guess I got it another month.
Yeah. Did it matter? No, because I couldn't play it, or I didn't play it. So what the hell did it matter? Yeah. And it was complicated to get on.
There
you know, because you'd go to the Chromecast thing, and then you had to hit a button, and then you put in a code. Seriously, a code like up BA. Click, and then that would kind of activate it to the Chromecast, and then that would kick it in. I don't know. Seems complicated.
Kind of fun.
Yeah, it's fun, but
like
complicated.
The Konami code, because wasn't that like a big secret when we were on the E3 looking at the back of the controller and all around like, oh, look at all the Easter eggs, you know?
So, Google Stadia, we hardly knew ye, so you're.
Well, I guess maybe we should be excited to see what they use it for, that technology for, and see what it is. I know they were selling some of it and doing this, that, or the other. And because wasn't there some, I feel like we reported on this, but my brain's a steel trap, as you know, that there was some other developing teams that were going to buy the technology to use for like demos.
Yeah.
And stuff, which I thought was a good idea, you know, then especially used in that capacity.
Sure.
And obviously, there's just probably a lot of other cooler things outside of video games that this technology could be cool for. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a great idea. I still think it was really cool technology and all. I just don't know that it was the right time in our lives for it to be successful, you know?
Mm-hmm. So,
we're gamers. We still like to just have our stuff. I know I do. The more you guys keep canceling stuff and taking things away, it's like now we'd want to go back old school and have my physical goods.
Dude, you know what? I was watching. I'm going to give him a shout out. We're going to have to get him on the show. Maybe I have to figure that out. But the Jeremy Parrish guy stumbled upon. He did a 3-part video on Final Fantasy 4 technically, but we called it 2 over here on Super Nintendo. Okay. So just in case anyone was like, well, I can't find the one on Final Fantasy 4. It's Final Fantasy 2 on the Super Nintendo, but Final Fantasy 4 technically in Japan.
Okay.
Did this whole breakdown. It was one of the first Final Fantasy games I ever played, and just hearing the music, seeing the I got hit with such a nostalgia wave, and I was like, I really want to play this again. Aww. So bad. And I can find it, but where would I have to be? Right here on my PC. And
I'm telling you, man, HDMI cord controller.
I know. I just needed to stop being a schmuck about it and do it.
I know you have to have an HDMI cord. It's one of those things all of us have. I've got 20,000 laying around the house from purchases over the years.
I have a tower of drawers about yay big, probably about 2 foot tall, filled with cords, wires, connectors, you name it.
No, same. It was a big Tupperware tub. You know, those big ones that you would get. I actually recycled one large one finally a couple of years back that had so much old wires and stuff in it because I'm like your OG PC gamer, you know? Like nothing uses these plugins anymore. So I just finally went, okay, you know, where it had like the 3 prongs that you had to do, or the ones where you had to screw it into the back of it, or the DCI ports, I think, is the other one that looked like it had a bunch of little pins coming out of it that you had to push them in and then screw it in on the side or whatever. I'm like, nothing uses these anymore. It's time to finally just let it go.
Yeah.
But, yep. Well, sorry, Stadia.
Yeah.
And sorry to those who are excited about it. And hopefully they make it right for you and you can find the game somewhere else that you can just have.
And as I've mentioned before, if you were one of the people like me that got that shit for free, don't expect any money back, because I don't. I didn't pay it. I don't expect it.
And I'm sure they very well know who actually bought one or not. So
I mean, if I got $100 refund coming to me for nothing, I mean...
just go sell it on eBay like everyone does and then call it a day.
Sure.
Maybe hold on to it.
Oh, I'm
Maybe
not
in
selling
20
shit.
years, that relic. Who knows?
I intend to hang on to it for sure.
We never know. Look at how much people want to charge for a regular Nintendo that they still have these days. It's like you want brand new prices back in the day, but people will pay it if they want it,
Right.
But I guess that's our show.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's our show. You can hit us up sometime on Twitter at Super Mega Crash, or go to Instagram to view the weekly icon art Stephen puts his time and love into. And you can send us an email at supermegacrash@gmail.com. And you can also support the show by liking and leaving reviews on your preferred podcast app, and even going to patreon.com/Pencil and Paper Productions. And go on over to youtube.com/Pencil and Paper Productions for just more. It might be age gated, but you can go see it. But we're getting really better at Discord. Come help make us great and join our Discord and chat with us through the week. Links are in the description below. Thank you so much for listening. I am Lacey Finley.
And I'm Stephen White.
And you can join us next time, Super Mega Crash siblings. But until then,
game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.